Verizon is raising prices for customers with multiple lines and older plans. All right. So we dropped the story when it came out. I want to say maybe Wednesday or something like that. What's being reported is current My Plan customers from Verizon that have 5 or more lines will see a monthly $3 per line increase on their bill as early as February 20th. Also impacted are the no longer available new Verizon plan, small, medium, large, XL, and double XL varieties, with their single phone line rates going up $4 per line per month. Those with multi-phone line accounts will have rates increased by $15 per month, while data overage fees will also increase from $15 to $20 per gig. So price adjustments, price increases there. We know that Verizon has been kind of dabbling with a new administrative and telco recovery charge. That was, I think, not last summer, but the summer before that. And then they increased a couple of other fees. They did the plan change, kind of changed like the whole like do more, get more. All that stuff went to the My Plan situation. So there's been some levers pulled. There's been some changes and stuff to old plans, and basically every plan has been hit with some sort of price increase at some point in the last couple of years. Some a couple of times. So stuff's happening over at Verizon with respect to accounts. So if you're a Verizon customer and those things are there, you might see a little bit of a bump to your bill. Don't be surprised. Verizon probably sent the communication by either email or text message, so you'll know if it impacts you and how much your bill will go up to. All right, let's start with Moose on this one. Moose, what's your take?
This is going to be a rude awakening for a lot of folks that switched over to Verizon in the last quarter and this quarter. I was talking about this with Tyrone, and he mentioned something very interesting. He's like, anytime Verizon says that they're going to grow 2% in service revenue, this is exactly where they're talking about, basically, right?
So you're saying they're squeezing the customer to get to that metric?
I think that Tyrone made a very good point when we were talking that the only revenue growth that is guaranteed from Verizon is this every year raising the price on their customers, because every year for the past 3 years it has happened. Wouldn't you agree, Chacha? We've had documents on this, right?
Yeah, and what's kind of come with some of that has been elevated churn.
Right. And by the way, I have multiple family members that are leaving Verizon as soon as the S25 is available because they're done with Verizon constantly raising the rates. So it's like, and by the way, unless you're going to get the phone in the promotional period, only the ultimate plan is eligible for the maximum amount of credit. Even today, right? I was looking at it for a couple family members, right? They were comparing the differences in the plans, and they were like, "What the heck?" Even the middle plan no longer has the $1,000 off for the iPhone, nor for the any other promotion, right? That wasn't the case just a couple of weeks ago in December, right? In December, the middle plan was eligible for the maximum benefit. So they retracted on it, right? So, it is what it is, right? Every plan is eventually going to be, $3 more expensive. I know, B, you mentioned that that's not that big of a deal, but when you have 6, 7 lines, that's a significant amount of increase, right?
Yeah,
7 lines.
some people have
Yeah.
showed a $15 increase, some 20 something.
Right.
That's about the range I think it's going to impact folks
Right.
on the account level, right?
Right, in the account level. So I mean, I'm telling you, like, for some folks, $3 for one line, it's not a big deal. However, when you multiply that by, let's say anywhere between 5 and 10 lines, that's a significant increase for a lot of folks right now that, we are seeing an increase in credit card debt. So where are they going to get this money from? Who knows?
I mean, I think it's scummy to raise prices at all. And I've said this before, anytime carriers raise prices, like you raise prices for new customers, it's, it's whatever because the customer didn't agree on that price. But as soon as you already have a customer that agreed at one price and then you bump it up on them and then you kind of bank on them not knowing or not caring, that's kind of doesn't really sit well with me. But what makes this particularly kind of crappy is this is customers on their newest plan. These are supposed to be Verizon's like most valuable customers that they treat the best. Like, all right, you raise the price on the old plan to bump them up and get them on a new plan.
Max, let me ask you this: it really impacted the accounts that have 5 or more lines. Like,
Right.
what do you think about that process? Like, why do you think they decided to go that route? Because it's not going to impact anybody else. Because basically the rate's the same. Like let's say you've got 4 lines. Well, now the person who's got 4 lines on their account is paying the same per line than someone who has 7, right? So it was a benefit to have more lines on a per line basis. They went that route. What's your take on that part?
It's just like it's kind of scummy, kind of like not much more to add than that. I mean, again, I understand if you're. I mean, I still don't like it, but if you're going to raise prices on customers on old plans, you want to get them on new plans, whatever. Maybe you're not making as much money off the old plans, whatever. But the fact that this is supposed to be Verizon's most valuable customer. This is a multi-line account, right? 5, 6, 7 lines on the newest, best plans, right? These are the customers that Verizon should be treating like royalty, right? They should be giving these customers foot massages. But nah, they're doing like $3 extra per line here, or whatever it is. I think it's $3 per line. Did you say it was? Yeah. So it's like kind of Verizon like spitting in the face of the customers that are supposed to be their top priority to treat them right. Like some customer on an old data bucket, it's like, yeah, maybe that's more debatable. I mean, when I first saw the data bucket thing, I kind of thought, okay, well, if you're still using a data bucket, you kind of deserve it. But then I came to my senses and I was like, all right, the customer's already on a data bucket. They obviously don't care. You're kind of taking advantage of them. So, well, kind of my take on both sides of that.
To see the data bucket plans, it's still like we're still in action. That was just wild. That was like a rude awakening. Yeah, Tech, jump in, man.
I'm not a fan. My bill's going up by a considerable amount.
Are we talking like 20, 30 bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem I have, and this is just my unfiltered opinion, the reason why this one's staying so bad is because there have just been so many incremental price increases from Verizon over the last couple of years. It's like $2 here, $3 there, $4 here, $4 there. And it's when you take a step back and you look at just how much your per line cost has gone up over the last just 2 years, it kind of stings. And I personally don't understand it.
Can I follow up with this? Do you think there's an arbitrary number that Verizon has decided from a churn standpoint? They're just like, all right, we'll live with this much churn. So we'll pull this lever and we'll just, if customers are coming and going a little bit, we'll live with it. Do you think there's some of that happening? Because like right now, like technically they have the worst churn in the industry. So they're and then it's kind of volatile, like with respect to competitors. So like, do you think maybe they kind of looked at this and said we could probably get away with this? This shouldn't impact our churn too much.
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, it's like, if you're pushing your premium postpaid customers away, while at the same time, bolstering the offerings on your prepaid and like your cheaper options like they have been. I mean, the same day that they announced this price increase was the same day they announced some sort of incremental benefit increase to, I think, Straight Talk or something.
Yeah, I